Guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about Romeo Lacoste. Now, if you don't remember who Romeo Lacoste is, he is a tattoo artist and a content creator on YouTube as well. He was really well known because he was a tattoo artist to the celebrities. Some are actually mainstream celebrities and some were YouTube celebrities, but there were countless videos that came out of people getting tattooed and including him in the vlog, just things like that. So he was very much all over the place in terms of he had a big reach. What ended up happening is that allegations came out with screenshots of him being really creepy towards minors and sending them very explicit sexual messages. He then went on to Drama Alert for what is known as probably one of the worst interviews I've ever seen, mainly because this guy is not smart. All the arguments he was trying to make were falling flat. Not that there is an argument you can make that would convince me that being predatory is okay, but everything he was saying was so obviously a juvenile attempt to like shift blame or to make himself seem like some kind of victim, which is ridiculous.
Romeo, you have some serious allegations against you. Are you guilty of these things?
I want to say that some are real and some are fabricated. So I think that the situation is out to make it look a lot worse than it really is. And I feel in today's social media and day and age with, Photoshop and, having multiple accounts and different kind of things, it's like really easy to sort of manipulate situations and make things look a lot worse than they really are. I don't think that people really understand, like, it's easy for someone to be on the other side of the keyboard and they want to be involved in something that they think is, very gallant and they're doing like, they're involved for something for the greater good by like calling someone out. But I just feel like when you don't know all the facts and people are kind of banding together and attacking someone.
What facts are we missing?
Well, first of all, I deleted my Twitter because of the immense amount of hate I was getting. A lot of this stuff is Photoshop. Like, yes, some of it is true, but they're rearranging the conversation to make it look like I was sort of like reaching out to these underage girls, which in actuality, these girls came on to me first.
Yeah, they're fangirls. And it's like, if you take advantage of those fangirls, especially if they're underage and you're doing some stuff, like, that's like a big no-no.
No, you're absolutely right. But as I mentioned before, I had no clue that they were that young. Like when.
So are you saying that there's some? I understand that there's parts of these DM conversations that have been taken away, but are you suggesting that there was stuff added? Because I don't really think that's the case.
No, I'm not saying there were things added. Like
everything we read on the Drumler before was correct. It just wasn't in order, is what you're saying, because some stuff has been taken out.
I'm a human being, and everyone's got like a sexual side. Like I'm not ashamed for some of the sexual things that I'm into and the things that I said in the videos, like in the comments.
Right. But basically after this happened, he kind of disappeared for a while. The majority of us, I think, forgot he existed if we even knew who he was before the scandals, which I did not. Then he actually came back a couple months ago. I hadn't realized because I only thought he'd posted a new music video and this was the first one, but it turns out he posted one 4 months ago, I believe it was, called Neon Lights. And then he posted another one called White Lies. Now, the irony isn't lost on me of an alleged predator posting a music video called White Lies. It's interesting to me because the decision of coming back as a musician, I think, is calculated. Now, granted, maybe it's some passion project, maybe it's something he's always wanted to do. I wouldn't know that. But at the same time, I also see this as trying to pivot into a different direction to see if he can tap into an audience that might not be very aware of what he's done in the past. I think this is an attempt to come back, but in a different way almost, because when I heard the name Romeo Lacoste, I remembered the scandal, but if someone told me, oh, do you know the musician Romeo Lacoste, I'd be like, is it the same person? Like I would have that doubt in my mind of like, really, this person is a musician now? I say musician with air quotes, but I did want to read some of the lyrics from the newest music video, which I can't play or show you, which honestly you should be happy about, well, first of all, I get copyright, but you should be happy about it because it's not my taste. If you get into a scandal that revolves around you messaging minors inappropriately and very explicitly, when you try to come back, maybe writing songs about, like, I don't want to say it's forbidden love necessarily, but like a fucked up love story, or you'll just see. White lies in the middle of the night. You never tell me how you really feel. One bed, but two separate lives. Who's to tell us what is and isn't real? You say this is the last time, but I know you'll keep coming back for more. Yeah, you know your sin is sweeter than heaven. So baby, keep the lights down low and feel the heat between our souls. I'd rather be flying blind than walk away. Don't walk away. Not supposed to feel this way. Do you think of me when he's touching you? You can hide your phone when you get my text because he doesn't need to know the truth. You say this is the last time, but I know you'll keep coming back for more. And then we go back into, yeah, your sin is sweeter than heaven or whatever. I just think this was a poor choice. Do I think this song is written about a minor? I would not know. But I just think this is an incredibly poor choice of song to come back with if you want people to forget what you actually got in trouble for in the first place. Interestingly enough, this video has 11,000 views and it has a total of 38 comments, most of which are positive that I've seen, and he's liked quite a few of them as well. So there definitely is some kind of moderation going on there, which doesn't surprise me, but at the same time reinforces my idea that he's trying to pivot into another genre, hoping that people won't remember what occurred. This made me think about the question of, can someone who had these types of heavy allegations, who really admitted to talking to minors, so it's not really an allegation if the crime is admitted, but when there's a case such as these, I'm like, can you really ever come back? And I think the question obviously comes down to who the audience is and what kind of audience you have. I think the demographic that's older in Romeo Lacoste's audience is probably going to be the one that leaves. That being said, he almost has 1 million subscribers, so out of those, I think the younger people are probably going to be there to stay. And I think that's the reason that a lot of these creators that are constantly in serious scandals, and when I say serious, I'm talking about grooming, anything predatory, like really, really heavy things that are crimes, as opposed to like smaller types of things that I would consider drama, which this isn't. I think the reason why they stay afloat is because they have enough of an audience that's either too young to understand why it's serious, or stans, like really, really hardcore fans that will defend their fave no matter what, which is what we also saw with James Charles. Now, in James Charles' situation, I think a lot of it overlaps. So a lot of them are young and stans all at once. So, you know, they'll scream about how cancel culture is bad and how he's forgiven and everyone makes mistakes, which is true about being a mean girl or something. It's not true that everyone makes mistakes that are predatory. So, but again, I think the reason that they're probably going to still succeed in some respect is because there are enough people in such a big audience that will turn a blind eye to it, or just simply pretend it didn't happen, or worse, try to say that every single victim is a liar, which is troubling to even say out loud. And realistically, I think we're going to be seeing quite a few comebacks. I think we're going to see Shane Dawson coming back soon because he's already been creeping back into the internet. He's been editing Ryland's videos. He's been posting a bit here and there on Instagram stories. Posted relatively recently about Jeffrey and how Jeffrey's a good friend or something along those lines. And like I said, he's been editing Ryland's videos, so I think that's a way to kind of slowly, gradually come back into the YouTube sphere. And I think we're going to see it with James Charles as well. I don't know what his plan is of how long he wants to stay away or quiet. I'm assuming it's not going to be that long. We know that when he's going to come back, considering his apology got way more likes than dislikes last I checked, he's already forgiven. He was pre-forgiven, like being pre-selected for a credit card, but he was pre-forgiven for everything, which is horrifying. And then we'll see it with David Dobrik, though I think he'll probably be away for longer. But having such crazy big audiences, I think that even with like these types of scandals, which are really heavy scandals, there never will be the amount of consequence. I don't even know if law enforcement is ever going to be involved, though there are multiple cases in these examples I've given you where they've admitted firsthand that they did the thing. You guys can let me know what you think about these people coming back. Do you think they'll be successful at it? Do you think Romeo Lacoste is going to try to start doing the same content he used to make? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and let's get right into